See a lot of queen charges because both teams are known for their queen charge Lalo attacks. They are really experts with this. So Michael DP is starting us off with that queen charge Lalo, and let's see if he can start the war in style and continue the trend of last year's World Championship teams.
Yeah, that would be great. The first war break is working perfectly. Now I feel like there's just one loon making its way to that eagle, and then slowly but surely he's going to take that down. That's quite a sneaky loon, I would say, right there. Maybe he's going to add something else, because there's a lot of damage on that queen, but on that loon as well. The outer tower is shooting like non-stop. He needs some more loons to take that down. Now he's adding 2 more loons to take it down, but there's this time no jump in this army composition. So let's see where exactly he's trying to head to. If he's trying to go into that scatter compartment on the left side, or maybe into the core, but without that jump. Instead, he's bringing that wall break.
Just sneaks the wall breaker in, and look what it has done! It has opened up access to the scatter and the central area of the base. Needs to make sure the queen goes there, though she doesn't. I was worried about that army camp, and it proved to be the difference maker. She's gone to the outside.
Oh no, he wanted to have the access to the core, taking down the enemy royal champion, the scatter obviously as well, and having access to this enemy clan castle. So now it's up to the queen. Is she going inside? There would be at least something, but it feels like she would go... Oh, she's walking inside. That is huge for him, but there are now some more black mines waiting for him.
It is huge, and he could still get this, Laloing into the town hall. Does he use the stone slammer, or does he swap to the battle blimp and perhaps send that into the center from the opposite side of the base? It would be a risky move, but it means he can keep his Lalo on track. I think he's going to wait and see what happens with his heroes. Lalo approaches the town hall, and a good warden ability should protect the balloons all of the way through. Also caught the lava hound, interestingly, as that moves across to the air defense, and he's actually using the stone slammer on that opposite side, hoping to save on 2 spells and his heroes to get to the center. Notice that the queen is beating through a wall in order to get there, so that should help him out, and he still has the royal champion as well to go with the ability just going off now to try and help out. Itsu looks pretty good right now.
Oh my god, this backhand was beautiful as a Lalo. The slammer is still alive with a lot of hit points. The queen ability is still not used, and we have so many minions working on those buildings, and Judo, this base is crushed. We were feeling like something was going wrong. Michael was just like saying, oh, that was just a bait, everything under control, and that's exactly what he did. He completely smashed that base, and that, wow, that beginning already, you already said those 2 teams love Queen Charge Lalo. So let's see whether we can see some more attacks like this. I would love to do that, because those attacks are always enjoyable to watch, how those pros can react. Because apparently, I mean, without any jokes, but the plan, like, the queen did not work as planned, right? So he wanted to get her into the base, but instead she was walking around. But the level of those pros being able to react to this, being able to make sure that it's still working somehow, this is so impressive. And this is why those players are here and giving us such a good show.
Totally. And Michael DP had a perfect streak last year. He was actually the only player of his team to get all 3 stars in the World Championship finals. They put him up first. He's got the 3 stars, so he has done exactly what is needed. We keep talking about, is it best to go first or second? Probably second, but if you can put up a 3-star first, then that has got to be advantageous, especially now that NGT legends know they need to respond.
Yeah, that's true. We always said about putting the pressure on the enemy team, and that's exactly what he did. So let's see what exactly NGT Legends is going to come up with. We're starting off with the Warden Walk. He put the healers already into the Arch Tower range, so he has to invest 2 loons over there. I mean, he has a ton of loons with him, but still, all of those loons are really a lot of value in itself, because you can trigger those black mines really early on and make sure that you have a nice and easy entry into the base. And this base looks kind of interesting, because we have the tunnel at the bottom side, so we're going to see some sort of blimp action maybe. But either way, we're going to see some bats in combination with the Super Wizards and P.E.K.K.A.
Yes, he's merging the bats in with this ever so popular strategy now. I think you're right. The Battle Blimp will move all of the way through with the Grand Warden's ability, and he hopes that once the Town Hall is down, he can bring the bats in, probably from the left-hand side. You see this very limited splash might deploy them right on top of the scatter shot. Meanwhile, the Peckers, they move into the center of the base with that Battle Blimp. We have our eyes deeply on that because it has to reach the Town Hall. It is going to get to that area only just, and he has the sneaky goblins, so he doesn't need to use a rage spell.
Yeah, but the smash completely go wrong with that queen walking onto the outside and stealing those heals from the inside troops. So we have a huge problem right now for him. He somehow needs to take out more splash damage because this in the end is going to be the key for the 3-star. And there's only one freeze left, Judo. There's only one freeze left, so he needs to place those bats on top of this scatter. But instead, he's placing them on the right side. I feel like it would have been maybe a better choice to protect his queen and go for the percentage, because at this point, with having a scatter and Wizard Tower left on the back end, I think it's a tough task to get this to the 3-star done. And the Wizard Tower is trying to shoot, but the bats are too quick. And now it's all about this next Wizard Tower, and that has a lot of time to shoot those bats.
I totally agree with you. I'm not sure why he brought the bats in from that side, because if he deployed them on top of the scatter, he could have used the Ice Golem to protect the Wizard Tower at 8 o'clock and used his freeze spell for the final Wizard Tower. That's the only way mathematically it would have worked out with the splash damage. Maybe he thought that he could just allow his queen to take out that area. It's an interesting approach, and arguably thinking on your feet when the attack is not going right is very difficult. We can watch this as commentators and as viewers and think that maybe one thing was better, but being in that situation, phone in hand, shaking, trying to think about what to do is a totally different ball game, and unfortunately it is not going to happen. It is it's not an 89% 2-star, so it's Tompinai Empire at the advantage after the first attack.
I'm just trying to go through all of the matches, but I feel like we had in every single matchup that the World Champion finalist team always somehow got a lead early and never let it go. It got sometimes close again on percentage, but still they always had the lead and kept it during the entire match, which I feel like right now seems to be like the best strategy which you can do. Put up pressure early, try to use maybe your best attackers early on to put up as much pressure on the enemy team as possible, because so far it looks like pressure is the best thing you can actually have in a tournament like this, because obviously it's the first tournament in the new year, and with this being said, all of the teams are still trying to learn and adapt to the pressure situations, because either if it's a veteran, they have not been in a situation like this for a long time, or if it's a new player, it's even worse because they have never ever been in a situation like this. So I feel like the pressure game so far is the most important thing which those teams have to adapt to and somehow manage to do, because so far the World's Finest teams are doing a great job of doing exactly that, pressuring their opponents. And let's see if Tompinai Empire can just keep going with that.
Let's see if they can. Al-Mualin is the next up to attack. I keep referencing hit rates from last year's World Championships because, well, I think they deserve to be said. These players have been around the block and have the experience, like you said, but Al-Mualin only missed 1 3-star throughout the finals last year, so he is very experienced with the Inferno Dragons to start this attack off. Though it is definitely new to him because it is a newer strategy to the meta if we were comparing it to last year, and he's quickly taking down the Town Hall and the first part of the base Itsu, but it's really how he moves through the scatters.
Oh no, the Headhunters just ran by all of those Inferno Dragons and just sniped the Warden. You can see the Warden just already died in the beginning, and this is a lot of hit points which are missing for those Inferno Dragons. And now they have to somehow get through the back end, even though the skeletons and everything are tanking, but so many hit points are missing just straight up because of the Warden is already dead. And now this back end is going to be really, really scary with this Royal Champion obviously still alive and the Queen of Blitz still alive. It's not looking like too bad, but losing the Warden early is a huge thing, and this Eagle is slowing down quickly.
I am blown away as to how successful this attack has been, because as you've said, Itsu, It still looks very good. He's got his queen and royal champion. He is going to finish it off. We did see an example yesterday where the Grand Warden's ability wasn't used, but it's not about the ability. He did use the ability here. It's more about the HP buff throughout the attack. It didn't even matter, though. 3 stars with the Inferno Dragons. Tompinai Empire, keep that pressure you talked about on NGT Legends. And again, we are in that situation where NGT Legends now have to 3-star. Otherwise, it's already slipping away from them.
Yeah, but I would like to touch on one more thing about I'm Your Lin, because I feel like in the World's Finals event last year, he used a ton of Zap Dragons, which is like lightning spells in combination of dragons. So I feel like this strategy is perfect for him, like transitioning over from a little bit more weaker strategy, which is the lightning dragons in the current meta, to a really strong strategy, which is the Inferno Dragons right now. And they're kind of similar with those lightnings, with those freezes and everything. So really good thing for him to transition over from his main strategy from last year, where he only missed 1 triple, as you said, switching to a strategy which is fitting his style. And he's doing exactly what he did last year, tripling non-stop bases left and right. And as you said, the pressure is building and building. And now NGT Legends, to somehow have a chance to fight out of this, need to triple this next attack. I feel like this next attack is going to make or break this matchup, because if they're going to fail once again, even if Tompinai Empire after that somehow is like getting a fail, like, and NGT Legends are going to get a defense, I feel like that's already too late. Like, that's already too late. Being 2 triples down is a really hard thing to come back from, because just of the mindset of the players, like going into this and having the feeling like, oh my god, for the enemy team, everything is working just for us. We have so much bad, like this, even if it's not true, but that's like the mindset which you have. And this is really getting into your head. And let's hope that this is not happening for NGT Legends.
Yeah, the mental game is a huge part of this, because if you're 2-3 stars down and there's only 3 attacks remaining, then you know you have to go perfect from that moment out. We talked about both teams being very proficient with the Queen Charge Lalo, but as you mentioned, also transitioning into the current meta. Here we have another Queen Charge Lalo Itsu, but it is going to be an early stab with the Battle Blimp towards the Town Hall.
Yeah, it's always a great thing to start with a blimp like this, because you're kind of preparing the base for whatever you have planned. In addition to that, most of the time people are trying to go for either the Eagle or for the Town Hall, because kind of depending on where you could blow up the Clan Castle, because taking down the Clan Castle early is a huge thing, because this is saving you many spells, and this attack is really spell heavy, because you want to have the Queen surviving. If this Queen is going to die at some point, most of the time it's really hard to come back from that. So this Queen needs to survive, and for this we have a ton of rages for her. He already has used the first rage, and there is a ton of Tesla right in this compartment. So let's hope that there are not too many black mines, because then this Queen could have a rough time.
And that is exactly why he is slowly sending in the balloons. Like you said last time, it's looking at the anchor points as well. He knows that he had to send a balloon in there to test that area, but the Queen hasn't gone for the Expo quite yet. Super Wall Breaker does open up access to everything, though, which is brilliant, because the King can go in to help support the Archer Queen, and he should be able to get right into the center, because the Super Wall Breaker will be attracted. I don't want to jinx anything, but it should be attracted right into the center of the base.
Yeah, but since it's so deep in the base, sometimes the wall breaks do not see this deeper located wall. So let's see if the wall break is actually seeing that wall, or if it's like too deep inside. We're going to see that in a second. The Royal Champion Mural is going to take some more buildings, and the Queen now is slowly approaching this core, which would be so important to get that out of the way, or to get into that, because from this compartment he can reach easily the enemy Queen and even more expos, and the wall break did target the wrong compartment, so he has no access to this compartment in that core.
It's unfortunate, because he held on to the deployment of it, and the King popped the Tesla within that area, which obviously then meant it didn't go where he wanted. I don't think it's the end of the world here. He can still manage to get his lava balloon around with the Queen punching through the wall, but he does have to speed things up here, because the balloons are taking a lot of damage, and the Eagle artillery fire pretty much finishes them off.
Yeah, the Eagle is being like the last defense on this one to go down. This is never a good thing for a Queen Charge, and we exactly saw why this is the case. The Warden is trying to get some more percentage. He's trying to freeze something, but I think he tried to freeze the Eagle and the air defense, placing it in between, so he's not hitting any of those 2 targets, sadly. But still, he's getting good percentages. But as I said, this attack was so important to get the 3-star, to get somehow a chance back into this match. But this now is going to be a huge task, especially, I mean, we saw so far Tompinai Empire, they're on fire so far. So if they can 3-star the next attack, it will feel kind of like a mountain which for NGT Legend, it's really hard to climb.
Yeah, they might have some experienced players within their squad still to go, but if you are that far behind, then it's pretty difficult to come back. And let's remember that Tompinai Empire has such a stacked roster that they still have some of their most experienced players to come as well. So it is a huge advantage for them right now. Like you said, if they could pull in another 3-star here, I would say it's virtually game over.
Yeah, that's right. So the next attacks, I mean, obviously it's important, but at this point, I feel like every single attack does count for NGT Legends on defense and on offense, because if they do not get some nice defenses in, it's going to be really hard to get back from this match. And so far, we had a lot of close matches, but I mean, obviously in Clash of Clans, sometimes there are matches which are getting decided early. Let's hope this match is not going to be one of them. But this is Metro coming in with the Zeb Lalo, and he is starting off with a nice Earthquake, and then really soon he's going to use this Earthquake not only to take down the core, but as well with that Lightning and the Roach ability, the next Inferno Tower. So great value, a ton of skeleton traps, but those skeleton traps are coming too late because the Roach already took down the Expo and obviously this Inferno Tower.
Yeah, it was very nice to have that delayed lightning spell just to make sure that he reset the single target Inferno's beam. The second lightning spell there took out the headhunters, so very nicely done with the Super Wall Breaker gaining access now to the Scatter Shot and the Royal Champion. Then we have the entire left-hand side of the base taken out, but the Lava Hound caught on the King moving into the base, and the King is losing a lot of health here whilst the Queen can't help out.
Yeah, this one is going to be interesting. I think he tried to bait the top left entry with a blimp, because I think I saw this base already. I think Penta attacked it at some point with some nice Lightning Queen Charge hybrid. So I guess this was on purpose with having 2 Tesla placed against this, but Tompinai Empire coming in with a complete different approach to this base. So this is messing up a lot of traps. So let's see if those traps are still good enough to defend this air attack, because we have Queen and King staying alive, so time should be no issue at all. If the towers get activated by those pups, it's looking really good. The next haze is getting placed, and now this Lalo is just about to start getting into the... Oh my goodness, there are so many traps. This Hound is triggering every single air trap in this base. This is looking so funny, and now we have the Loons getting into that scatter ASAP, and he has one more Hound to tank with.
The black bomb set off the Hound, and then the red bomb right behind took out all of the lava pups. But the balloons move across to that area. There's still quite a bit for them to take down, but fortunately, he has the freeze spell to help out. They condense over the Eagle Artillery. It looks ever so more impressive here for Metro as he moves to the back end of the base. Balloons now taking down the Tesla, and he still has a few for that area. The red air bomb and tornado trap. You are indeed right, Itsu. That top left area of the base did seem a little bit baited, but Metro powers through. He didn't quite have the hit rate he might have wanted last year, but he is moving into this year's World Championship scene with a 3-star, and that now means that Tompinai Empire are 3 3-stars in the lead. We need a 3-star now from NGT Legends if they have any chance of winning this.
Yeah, and we're talking about pressure a lot. I feel like NGT Legends knows exactly what pressure means at this point. Like, they need to triple from this point on every single attack, and we need to rely on Tompinai Empire finally failing an attack. But it feels like Tompinai Empire have everything under control. They're not like 1 triple ahead. They're not 2 triple ahead. 3 3-stars they're ahead of their opponents. So this is looking really good for them. And it did not even look like any close in any of their attacks. It was really controlled by them so far. So let's see if NGT Legends, maybe with sending Bernal next, like one of the experienced players, or maybe they're just planning on sending him once again last, giving the most experienced player in their team, the most pressure situation. Even though I have to say, I feel like not sure if that was the reason for this high hit rate on the 5th position of attacking yesterday. But I feel like maybe it's not worth it to wait for your best attacker until the last second. Yes, I know it's a lot of pressure, but at the same time, having the 3-star early is giving the newer players in your team the possibility of having like a better mindset maybe. But it seems like at least one of their veterans is going to step in, and that's Selenio, and he's going to try to triple this base with Inferno Dragons.
We've seen the success of this strategy. Selenio needs to make it work now. Balloons to being deployed with the Inferno Dragons. Grand Warden behind. He's got the nice funnel set up and he's just waiting on his king and queen. Presumably they are going to be deployed over to the 9 o'clock area momentarily. There we go. And the Inferno Dragons swiftly move through the base with the skeleton traps nicely placed around the scatter shot.
That's right. All of the entire clan castle coming out, and that's the scary thing for this Inferno Dragons, because they're all single target. This means sometimes those headhunters can slip by and snipe the enemy warden. That's what we had a few attacks ago, but this time the Inferno Dragons are doing a nice job of actually protecting the warden, of still gaining this bonus hit points into the back end of this base. And even though a lot of those Inferno Dragons are dying out in the core, we still have the Queen with her ability on the bottom left, we still have the Royal Champ with her ability, but she's about to go down in that single Inferno Tower because there was no free spell left. Now there's one skeleton spell left for the back end, and he needs to use that somehow for this back end single Inferno Tower and hope for his Queen doing, somehow really good work and sniping that Inferno Tower right away.
Yeah, I think he was holding on to the skeleton spells for that bottom area, trying to protect his heroes. Fortunately, the Royal Champion ability just went off in time. Otherwise, it could have looked a whole lot worse. But like you said, that single target Inferno is the critical factor here. He's going to wait as long as possible. And, oh my word, the Queen's stuck on the inside of the base, Itsu. I'm not sure that she will get through this.
Yeah, it's going to be really close. The Warden is helping her his Queen, but this means the Queen is a bit faster, but still, without her ability, it won't be enough. And this is one of our first fails with this strategy in this tournament. Obviously, there are some more skeletons coming in and trying to reinforce this, but there is nothing to reinforce because they're just too late to the party, and this means this is going to finish off in a 95%. And the back-end single Inferno Towers, those were just too much to handle for those heroes, and the Royal Champion and the King and the Queen all falling down to this one single Inferno Tower.
Really showing how devastating they are versus the heroes, just shredding them down, lost the momentum of the Inferno Dragons, and you can't help but wonder now, Tompinai Empire have everything in their favor. They have built this war so that they are in control, which, as you've said, Itsu, is exactly what we are seeing today. Making sure you take control, you put the pressure on your opponent seems to be the right thing to do. You obviously do want to do that. Tompinai Empire really showing us how important it is, and they could finish the war off now.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like this might be the most one-sided match. I mean, it's sad to say, but at the same time, you want to give props where props are needed, because Tompinai Empire, not only on offense, they're smashing every single base, but as well on defense. And I feel like Clash of Clans, as we said already, it's always about offense and defense. Like, you could have the best offense, like Nishan Dance last year, but if your when your defense is not like built properly, you could have the best offense and you're still dropping out of the tournament. So offense and defense both matters, and so far Tompinai Empire are really impressing me with their defense. I mean, NGT Legends yesterday put up a really solid star count against Tribe Gaming and beat them, and now there's not a single 3-star on the scoreboard so far for them against Tompinai Empire. So really, really good job by the base building team, and obviously by the players right now, because they're 3 out of 3. So let's see if they can put up another 3-star on their list.
It is React changing things with the Queen charge into hybrid. We are going to have the Queen directly in towards the Town Hall. Also, we'll cut out that area of the base using a sneaky goblin. Finds a couple of Tesla there. Nice to find them early on so that you can adapt and take them down. But obviously, he needs to make sure that the Queen is able to get what he wants.
Yeah, and those Tesla are actually pretty yeah, hard to handle, I would say, for him right now. Maybe he needs to use the Sneaky Goblin to fund this Dark Elixir drill. He's doing that. The queen is going into the town compartment exactly where you want her to go. But there's going to be so much damage in a second. With this rage, depending on where the queen is about to go, he might rage the queen into that town explosion. No, the queen is going to decide for this Tesla. But there was a black mine right against this baby dragon.
Yeah, and the thing that I was just about to say is having the Tesla there forces you to deploy some defense targeting troops, and he didn't want to put too many Hog Riders in, so he doesn't have any Coconut Loons, and that is why he is losing the healers again and again. Those Tesla were incredible to force him to use the balloons, and now he's just losing healers one by one.
Yeah, that's right. But at the same time, there's not too much damage on this queen, so it's not too bad for him. At the same time, the king with the siege barracks are working its way on the outside. Now we have the scatter about to go down against this hybrid. And at the same time, we have so many storages inside that those miners are having a rough time getting through all of that. Those hog riders need to work a ton and make sure they can get through all of those defenses first, because those miners are a little bit behind, I would say. At this point, at the top left side now, we can see this queen having some trouble to take down the enemy queen and the enemy king.
Yeah, and he still has 2 super wall breakers, so he had high hopes for the queen. But I have to say, the miners are doing a fantastic job during the center of the base with Hog Riders now reinforcing. We still have a freeze and the RC ability. RC ability does just go off, and where does he use the freeze? Trying to save it for the single target Inferno as the Hog Riders do get through the scatter, but the giant bomb does a lot of damage. I think he could get this nicely using the super wall breakers to get extra damage onto the area. And that is going to be it, Itsu. Tompinai Empire really showing their strength with another 3-star attack. They are reacting to every single little thing that might not go in their favor, switching it around and making sure they pull in the 3 stars again and again. We are seeing so many incredible teams. I can't wait to see how the rest of the tournament unfolds, because it's very difficult to predict with how good everyone is right now.
Yeah, it is just crazy. Tompinai Empire in like complete control at this point, even though it's hard to say, but I think this war is over. For NGT Legends at this time, it's all about showing some more great skills to all of us and the viewers, obviously. And Tompinai Empire, it is just so impressive how they came into this match, obviously building up the pressure. And we talked about many times about what is better, going first, going second. And for Tompinai Empire, definitely going first was a huge benefit, because from the get-go, non-stop putting the pressure on the enemy team is a huge thing. And, well, we saw this right here. NGT Legends was not able to come back in this situation. And now we just hope for some more 3 stars just to show, like, them being able to show us that they still deserve to be here. They're a really, really good team. And exactly that is hopefully going to be the case.
Totally, and they need to treat this as experience now, just getting anything else from this war that they can in preparation for this year's World Championships. And we do have the Blizzard Lalo coming in. Patolino said this is his favorite strategy, so will they be able to get a 3-star for their team, for their name?
Well, there are a lot of giant bombs in the beginning, but one thing which that was nice. He got actually the bounce off the town hall onto that Single Inferno Tower, making sure the Single Inferno Tower is going down as well, which is huge value in this one, because this empowers kind of his heroes to get a lot of value. And now the great thing about this, I hope that he's doing that. He's going to lure over the clan castle to the bottom side, and he's going to take down the sound nice and easy on the outside of the space, which is key, because this means it's so much less damage on his heroes. Now he's having to place the king and the queen, sniping those headhunters. Nicely done. Now the queen is taking down this hound, even though the hound is chasing this king. And let's see how far they can get as a duo. Meanwhile, the queen is trying her best to somehow get this hound off the king.
Exactly. When you are doing this at home, that is exactly why the one little archer was used to pull everything to the side of the map. We talked about it yesterday. It might seem simplistic, but it is so important to take out the clan castle troops at the edge of the map so you're not battling the defenses as well. Look at that invisibility spell on the Royal Champion Itsu, preserving the ability until the last moment, getting damage onto the Eagle and the single as the Queen continues to move into the base towards the enemy Queen.
Yeah, Queen ability is still not used, so he should be able to take down the enemy Queen, which is huge. And then he's about to start off with his own Lalo into that Eagle. You want to take that Eagle out nice and early, making sure you take that down. And we have the next Lava Hound coming in as well. The single Inferno Tower is doing a great job in taking down already the first tank in that Hound. Now those Headhunters are getting sent in to take down the enemy Royal Champion. And at this point, it's looking not sure. Like this multi-Inferno Tower in that core is going to be kind of scary to face.
Oh, look at all of the red air bombs around it, just shredding the balloons in that area. I'm not sure how he's going to be able to get anywhere near that now as the balloons spread around. That is exactly why the multi-target is there. With all of the red air bombs, it doesn't matter how many balloons get there, it will shred each and every one of them. As the balloons move around, he still has a haste. Perhaps he can haste 1 or 2 balloons towards it. Decides to use it now with the Wizard Tower to try and gain percentage, I feel.
Yeah, but could we just appreciate how good are those Tompinai bases? Like, what is going on? I feel like right now it's fair to say that we're having a kind of offense-heavy meta where we can see like a lot of teams having like a perfect war or getting even close to that. And Tompinai Empire is doing such a crazy work on defense, like defending NGT Legends non-stop, and they really struggle against those bases. 91%, yes, that's the percentage which you normally aim for, at least if it's not going to be a 3-star, but still, that is so impressive in the current meta, defending so well against one of those top teams out there. That is a huge shout, like worth a huge shout out, because the base building team of Tompinai Empire, maybe if they keep going with this performance on defense, could decide a couple of those matches on its own. Like, obviously, it's nice to have that Tompinai Empire on the offense as well. It's doing a crazy job. But having a solid defense is always the start for a match.
Yes, and the consistency of those defenses. Like you said, NGT Legends, a very top-level team. We've seen that yesterday. They progressed into today's round. They have the offensive power, but Tompinai Empire just holding them off again and again. And whilst we have seen a couple of perfect wars today, we haven't seen such a dominating offensive and defensive performance that we are witnessing right now with Tompinai Empire. So I agree with you. They are absolutely showing us what they have in store for the entire year, but they do need to just focus on one thing at a time. It is team captain Rigoteres who will be finishing the show off.
Let's go. Come on, for the perfect war. That would be so good. Rigo God is going at it, and he's bringing a golem to this as well. I feel like he's going for the... No, wait a second. I was thinking that he would go for the Skelly Donut for this clan cast, but at the same time, he brought a poison. Why would you bring a poison if you want to take down the clan cast? So let's... Maybe he's going for something else, taking something else out. I mean, the eagle in that core is kind of exposed, so maybe... like the skeletons are planned for that. Not really sure, but let's see what exactly the plan is going to be for his golem, for his king and queen, what exactly he wants to take out.
Well, he starts with the heroes, which is a little bit unorthodox because normally you do use the skeleton donut method first prior to the heroes, but you're right, Itsu, if he is going for the eagle, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't activate until later on in the raid. So I am a little bit interested, but he does use an invisibility spell for the Royal Champion. Queen continuing to step around that area. She will go for the single target Inferno. What else is he going for here? He wants the Royal Champion just into the base, decides to use the next invisibility to try and secure the Queen and the other single target.
Yeah, and there are a lot of archers and a couple of goblins in there. Based on this, you know already, there is not going to be a hound in this clan cast. There's going to be some sort of super minions maybe in there, something like that, which is always not nice to face during a Lalo because it is just so annoying to face. But I feel like now he's trying to snipe that inner eagle with that blimp, and in addition to that, he's going to try to take down this enemy clan castle. And one thing which he's really nicely doing is he's waiting with deploying the warden, because this means those headhunters are just headhunters. Not targeting a hero is obviously way better. And now it's all about taking down the enemy queen. Maybe he's going to invest the freeze, not really sure just yet. And the Lalo just started.
Really like the patience of that as well. Waiting as we moved around. That is what these Skelly spells are for. The enemy queen, or at least one of them, trying to save onto the second to maybe distract anything else in the base. Uses the freeze on the wizard tower. Doesn't get the town hall with that. The balloon's caught in the tornado trap. Now uses the Grand Warden's ability, which means he can move through that area, and he still has a lot of spells for the back end of the base now.
Yeah, there's a ton of back-end spells, but as well, there's a lot of back-end defense as well. But with 2 hounds alive, maybe they can somehow tank. I mean, he's like dropping those freezes like nothing. Now the hate spell as well. The enemy queen though still needs to go down. Now finally it's going down. At this point, there's still a couple of Tesla. The enemy scatter obviously is like shooting non-stop, but those hounds are doing such a great work of tanking everything. So maybe it's going to be enough. The 2 Tesla and 1 Arch Tower is left standing. Is this going to be enough for Rigoteres to get the 3-star and get the perfect Warden as well? The Warden is trying its best, but it feels like the Tesla and the Arch Tower are doing everything they can to somehow prevent the perfect war of happening. But there are some more minions coming in from the left side. And with those ground skeletons, they need to be looted away because now the minions and the lava pups are going at them.
Oh, it was so close. I'm surprised he used the second skeleton spell and not the headhunter to finish off the queen. That would have given him the spell for the back end. It was so close to the perfect 96% 2-star. But Tompinai Empire showing their might in this war with 14 stars. NGT Legends can now only respond for their own glory and showcasing what they have in store, because Tompinai Empire have secured it well and truly.
Yeah, they did indeed. And now it's up to the NGT Legends. I think Bernal is last, so I think we can be excited for this last attack, because if this is going to be once again another Queen Charge Lalo, that's going to be awesome. And let's see, we have the blimp in the beginning and we have the Queen Charge Lalo on our hands. And, well, the blimp took down already quite a bit with that enemy eagle going down.
Yeah, unfortunately we missed the start of that. Looks like the eagle and a couple of other defenses in that area, but again, it does set the pathing, as we always mention, for the Archer Queen. Managed to actually get the balloons inside the invisibility spell as a nice little bonus as they moved in towards the single, and the Queen can finish off the Lava Hound before having access into the base with the Super Wall Breaker already opening that up.
Yeah, the Inferno Tower going down was key right there, making sure the pathing is key going forward, because the next goal for the Queen basically is to get wall breaked into that enemy Royal Champion compartment to make sure the Queen has access to most of the stuff. And right after that, he's going to try to wall break, I guess at least, into that next scatter compartment. So he has access to both scatter shots. That would be huge in this one, but the first wall break is going for a different compartment than he expected. So the second wall break into the enemy, like into the second scatter shot, is not going to go as planned, but maybe the plan was different anyways from the get-go.
Yeah, I'd like to think, maybe he lets the Queen beat through the wall here and then uses the wall breakers. You know, I'd like to ban the super wall breakers from Bernal, because he is the master of wall breakers, and I miss seeing 15 wall breakers in his army composition and charging all of the way through to the center. There is the wall breaker, which will provide access to the scatter shot. Beautiful patience to allow him into that area. The Queen's also going to get the town hall, Itsu, so he only has to worry about the back end of the base now with the lava loon coming in.
But this is kind of scary, because the Queen is not going to go for the Town Hall right away, and she's going to lure those healers really soon into the Town Hall range, which means those healers are going to die kind of quickly. So he needs to be quick on that one. The Queen is not redirecting, she's really going for that wall. And now, wait a second, what is Bernal doing?
Minions,
is he trying...
Come on.
There's no
Minions
spells
need
left,
to take
Judo.
the Queen altar to redirect her, come on!
Oh my
yes.
god!
Woo.
That timing of those minions, making sure he can take down that town and redirecting this Queen, that was clutch in the last second, I would say. Making sure Bernal is getting that second star, and well, the minions are not fast enough, and this means in the end NGT Legends is going to end up on 10 stars only, and Tompinai Empire, the bases are just defending, and it's just an incredible showing of their base building team, of their players, of the offense team. It is just an incredible match. Tompinai Empire is